How's it going, everyone? My name's James Hush, and I play bass in Virtue. And I don't know if you noticed, but we just released a new single about a week or two ago for the song Where the Edges Meet. There's a lot of moving parts to get the song from an idea to a recording to a music video. And I'm gonna make videos for each one of these steps because I know when I first had my own first band, I kind of just had to figure this out on my own. But there is a method to the madness for each step. I'm going to go through how Trey and I got the album artwork for Where the Edges Meet from the idea phase to the final product, what you see on iTunes and Apple Music and Spotify. So tip number one is you want to start right now. There's really no reason to put this off. Doing this in parallel while your drummer is, for example, recording the drum parts is way easier and way less stressful and will give you a much better final product at the end of the day than instead of waiting for your guitar players and drummers to record everything and then move on to the next step. Because remember, generally artists charge more for a rush delivery too. So the fact that you're even think about this before this is all done recording is great because you're already ahead of schedule. You want to start with a budget in mind. First, you have to figure out like how much money y'all willing to actually spend on this. Like this not only goes for album artwork, you kind of have to figure this out for the recording, for music video shoots, for photos, everything. And this makes looking a lot easier. If you only have a $100 budget, you're not going to waste your time trying to contact the guy who made like Metallica's artwork. And if you have like a $0 budget, you should stop watching this video and focus on getting like a part-time job or something because you're gonna have to spend some cash here. Once you have a budget in mind, you wanna reach out to potential graphic designers. Now, I found the word of mouth is usually the best way to do this. We reached out to bands that we already knew and had already put out albums and just asked them who did their artwork. If you have a higher budget, don't be afraid to look at album artwork you really like and contact the artist for that band. Especially for a lot of metal bands, like, let's be real, like, we're all working on budgets here. We're not doing these $10,000+ album artworks. If you really can't find anyone, a great website I found is 99designs.com. So I've included a link below to sign up for it. The way 99designs.com works is you put out a design competition. So you put out an idea of what you want the artwork to look like, and then you have like thousands of different designers all compete and you pick the one you like the best. I've heard a lot of good things from 99 Designs, so you should check it out if you can't find anyone. Once you find the artist, here's like the money tip. Here's like, if there's nothing you can take away from this video, just take this one tip away. Create a mock-up. You want to make a crappy version of the artwork that you can give to the designer, and so they can kind of have an idea of what you're going for. Now the reason for this is most artists charge extra for changes. So the fewer changes you can request, the faster and cheaper you'll get something that's still extremely high quality. Art projects, actually all projects, even the software engineering projects I'm a part of, can easily double in price because of rewrites. And you don't want to end up with something you don't like and then having to spend an extra couple $100s to get it redone. So I found generally there's one person in the band who cares more about the art direction than the others. For example, I generally lean more towards the business side of things. I'm a software engineer as my day job. So I care more about actually making something great so I care more about the how. Versus Trey definitely has a much better artistic vision. He has final say for any art direction, any music side for the whole band. So if you're similar boat as me, where you're more concerned about the how, and there's one person who really has some sort of artistic vision, meet with the person who cares the most, one-on-one, and create a mock-up with them. Trey and I cannot draw. We have no interest or time to get better at drawing at all, but we wanted something with mountains. We tried to draw it from scratch ourselves, but we literally could not remember how to draw forced perspective. So what we ended up doing was Googling earthquakes, chasms, and cracked earth. and found the kind of terrain we wanted. That inspired the idea of having someone reach out to another person, because there's a line in the song, waiting for the perfect time to just let go. Also, we already had this Greek myth theme going with Sisyphus, and that comes up in a bunch of different songs. And from the beginning, we wanted In Virtue to be like a blend between like old school power metal and like super modern metal with like a dash of metalcore and a dash of gent. So we had the idea of the past reaching out to the present. No word of a lie. This is the mock-up we sent to the designer. I'm dead serious. If we didn't go through the process of writing down a plan, our ideas would have been too scattered to even come up with this. Just remember, good instructions make good employees. And this goes with anything. When you have a plan, that's where you can turn this artwork over here, ends up turning into this. So you can even see the parts. We had like a girl over here with long hair, and and then our artist ended up drawing her over here. It worked out great, and I don't think we had a single change request. Not, so we didn't have to pay extra for any rewrites. Speaking of paying, remember, and this goes with working with any outside person, pay half up front and do not pay the second half until it is 100% finished. Ever. This goes for all businesses. It'll cause people to lose motivation if you pay them before it's finished. This actually happened to us with one of the original editors for the music video where the edges meet. We ended up paying him the whole thing up front, and then there was some miscommunication back and forth on both ends. He ended up just kind of disappearing. So just remember that. It's like pay half up front and half at the end. Also, finally, if you're printing these, make sure it's in CMYK format. So if you're printing on a t-shirt or on a CD, CMYK stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Computer screens use RGB. The designer will know how to do this if they're a remotely decent designer. So those were some tips for getting some album artwork made. Let me know what other questions you have. I'm gonna try and make a couple more videos about some of these back office things, because for anyone who's been in a band, you'll realize like getting really good at your instruments and writing good songs, while that's 70% of the battle, the other 30% is incredibly important and takes up a lot of time to do. And takes up a lot of time to too. Yeah, and takes up a lot of time too. Just like speaking. Speaking's really hard. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.